Atlanta wraps the busiest rookie minicamp weekend in the NFL with 3 storylines colliding at once. Avion Terrell showed up to Flowery Branch with a hamstring scare. Zachariah Branch showed up with feet so fast the practice clips looked sped up. Michael Penix Jr. showed up with a football in his hand 6 months after tearing his ACL. The position Avion Terrell lines up in for the season opener is not the position he was drafted to play, and once you hear why, the secondary picture flips. Now the front office moves tell the real story. Kevin Stefanski runs the offense. Ian Cunningham built the roster. Matt Ryan oversees the building. Tua Tagovailoa signed for $1.3 million and walked into a quarterback room. He is now favored to lead in week 1. One number from his last 4 seasons on tape is the reason he leapfrogged Michael Penix Jr. for the projected starting job. And once you hear it, the debate ends. Bill Callahan rebuilt the offensive line in 3 weeks after Caleb McGarry retired, then signed a guard named Layden Robinson on Monday morning to plug a hole nobody is talking about yet. The defense has its own questions. Jeff Ulbrich built a unit which set a franchise record for sacks last year, drafted 3 more defenders to feed it, and now has to fix the worst first down run defense in the league. One division opponent should already be in panic mode about what Atlanta has built. The win total Atlanta is staring down would shake the NFC South to its core if it lands. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Falcons and all the NFL content. Can we get 300 likes on this video? Zachariah Branch ran 75% of his college snaps in the slot at Georgia and finished his college career with 1,634 receiving yards on 159 receptions. 78% of those yards came after the catch. The number alone tells you what kind of weapon Atlanta added at pick 79. The film tells you the rest. The viral reel from Flowery Branch, where he ducked under a hand shield, snapped into an out route, and snagged a fingertip grab in the flat, was not a one-off. Every clip from minicamp showed the same short area burst. Now look at the receiver room Branch walks into. Drake London is the boundary 1. Jahan Dotson signed as the boundary 2. Olamide Zaccheaus is a chain mover, not a yards after catch threat. The room had no underneath middle of the field weapon and no defender wrecker on screens and quick game touches. Branch fills both holes in one player. The pick was not depth. The pick was a scheme-specific addition designed to attack zone coverage at the seam and behind the sticks. The fit only works with the right quarterback throwing him the football. One national writer already planted a flag in the wrong direction on which one of Atlanta's 2 quarterbacks gets the most out of him. The takeaway is built on a faulty foundation, and the routing data from last season blows it apart. The national take goes like this: Tua Tagovailoa is too short to see over interior linemen, so Zachariah Branch would do more damage with Michael Penix Jr. under center, because Branch lives in the middle of the field where height matters most. Sounds clean. It also ignores the actual middle of the field numbers from last season. Penix finished dead, last in the league in completion rate, on throws between the hashes at 9.9%. He also finished tied for last in target rate over the middle of the field at 32%. The throws Branch thrives on are the throws Penix has not made yet. Tua has lived in the underneath middle of the field for 4 seasons. He completed 62.1% of his targets past 10 yards from 2023 to 2024. Height is a luxury in the pocket. Timing, footwork, and ball placement are the actual currency of attacking zone coverage at the seam. Tua has all 3. Penix is still building them. The warning is not a warning. The warning is a national writer reaching for a hot take with no data behind it. The real concern with Atlanta's quarterback room sits one position group away from the throwing arm, and it has everything to do with the blind side of 2 left-handed passers. The Layden Robinson signing on Monday morning looked like a depth move on paper. Atlanta brought in a former 4th-round pick of the New England Patriots who started 11 games as a rookie, got waived after a failed training camp the next year, bounced to the Las Vegas Raiders practice squad, and got waived again earlier this month. The Falcons signed him after one weekend at Flowery Branch. On the surface, it reads as guard depth. Underneath, it reads as fear. Here's the math the front office is staring at. Caleb McGarry retired on April 8th. Jawan Taylor signed a one-year deal the same day to replace him at right tackle. Taylor posted a 53.3 overall PFF grade in his final season with the Kansas City Chiefs and a 43.8 run blocking grade. Both Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. throw with their left hands. Right tackle is the blind side in Atlanta. The blind side belongs to a tackle who graded out as one of the worst pass blockers at the position last season. Bill Callahan has a reclamation track record stretching back 3 decades. He built a Pro Bowl line in New York with the Jets and a 1,000-yard rusher offense in Dallas with the Cowboys. The signing of Layden Robinson says one thing. The new regime knows the blind side is fragile and is stockpiling interior bodies to protect the rest of the line if Taylor fails. The fragility shows up next, on the other side of the football, where one secondary domino is about to fall. Atlanta drafted Avion Terrell at pick 48 to be the long-term outside corner. Opposite his older brother A.J. Terrell Jr., the position Avion lines up in for the season opener is the slot. Here is why. Billy Bowman Jr. ruptured his Achilles last November against the Buffalo Bills. Achilles injuries for defensive backs sit on a 9 to 12-month timeline. The math does not line up with Week 1. The Falcons need their 3 best corners on the field on opening day, and the 3rd best corner today is the rookie out of Clemson. Mike Hughes enters the final year of his deal at the outside spot opposite A.J. Terrell Jr. for the early stretch of the season. Avion Terrell opens at nickel. Once Bowman is cleared, the secondary shifts. Avion slides outside, Bowman retakes nickel, and Hughes drops into a swing role as the 3rd corner with positional flexibility. The trade for Sidney Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles in March was the depth move designed to absorb any setback in this timeline. Brown has slot experience and special teams chops. Jesse Bates III and Xavier Watts lock down the safety spots. The succession plan is already in motion even if no coach will say it on the record. Hughes will not see year 2 of his deal in Atlanta. The Falcons drafted his replacement in round 2 with the name the city has been waiting to put back on the field. The defense built around the Terrell brothers, Bowman, Bates, and Watts has the makings of a top 10 unit, which sets up the divisional reality Atlanta has not been ready for in 5 years. Atlanta finished 27th in EPA per rush allowed last season and gave up the worst yards per play, allowed on first down in the league at 6.0. The rush defense was the leak. The pass rush was elite. The unit set a franchise record 57 sacks. Plug the run defense leak, and the ceiling on this defense jumps 2 tiers. Now look around the NFC South and tell me which team is built to exploit a fixed run defense and a pass rush led by Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., Brandon Dorless, Zach Harrison, and Samson Ebukam. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles. They are the team to beat in the division for the moment. The New Orleans Saints are mid-rebuild with a young quarterback and a roster shedding veterans every week. The Carolina Panthers are entering year 3 of a rebuild and still searching for stability at coordinator and on the offensive line. None of the 3 has the front 7 depth Atlanta has stacked. Caden Ellis racked up 151 tackles in 2024. Divine Diablo added playmaking length next to him. Rookies Kendall Daniels and Harold Perkins Jr. flood the room with athleticism. The added piece is Ontario Thompson on the interior, a 6th-round defensive tackle from Washington with the kind of motor Nate Ollie has wanted since the day he arrived. The front office solved the run defense problem in the trenches, the linebacker level, and the secondary at the same time. The offense gets the headlines for now. The defense will close the season ranked top 10, and one division opponent will pay the steepest price when the schedule comes out. Here's the number. Since 2022, Tua Tagovailoa has completed 67.6% of his throws, traveling more than 20 yards in the air, the highest mark in the NFL across the same window, higher than Patrick Mahomes, higher than Lamar Jackson, higher than Joe Burrow. The number alone reframes the whole quarterback conversation around the wrong question. The question was never whether Tua has arm talent. The question was whether the system around him would amplify the timing throws he already owns. Enter Tommy Rees, running the offense Kevin Stefanski built and refined in Cleveland. A zone-heavy run game, anchored by Bijan Robinson forcing safeties down into the box. Play action shots off the run to Drake London working the intermediate, Zachariah Branch stressing the seam, and Kyle Pitts clearing the middle hash. The intermediate window is where Tua has lived his entire career. The deep shot is where he has thrived. The scheme was designed for a thrower with timing, accuracy, and trust in his footwork. Atlanta signed the cleanest fit for it on the open market for $1.3 million. The deep ball number does not lie. The completion rate over the middle of the field does not lie. 5 seasons of evidence sits on tape, and the new regime read it 3 different ways before signing him. Tua Tagovailoa is the Week 1 starter. Michael Penix Jr. holds the long-term keys, but the offense in 2026 is built for the southpaw, with the highest deep ball completion rate of the past 4 years. The closer to this story is the win total Atlanta is staring at. Here's the prediction. Atlanta finishes the regular season 11-6, wins the NFC South for the first time in 8 years, and sends Kevin Stefanski to the podium with NFL Coach of the Year hardware around his neck. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers split the season series. The New Orleans Saints get swept twice. The Carolina Panthers lose both games by double digits. 11 wins is the number, and one division opponent walks into Week 1 with a target the size of Mercedes-Benz Stadium on their back. Drake London crosses 1,400 receiving yards. Bijan Robinson posts 1,200 rushing yards behind the league most stable interior offensive line. Jalen Walker breaks double-digit sacks in year 2 off the edge. Zachariah Branch wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Buzz on the strength of a return touchdown and slot production no one saw coming. Avian Terrell locks down the outside boundary by November and quietly becomes the steal of the entire draft class. Tua Tagovailoa earns himself a contract extension by the trade deadline. The bold claim is the one no one in the South wants to admit out loud. Atlanta wins the division by 2 full games, and nobody in the NFC South is built to keep up with what Kevin Stefanski has constructed. Drop your record prediction for the Falcons below, sound off on which division rival should be panicking, and hit the subscribe button before the next breakdown drops on training camp battles around the league. Atlanta is one position battle away from naming a Week 1 starter, and the reveal is closer than the doubters think.